Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time. Today we are gonna have a Q&A. Okay, and the reason why I decided to make this video is because after I put up my previous video where I spoke about how to become a doctor in the UK, I got some follow-up questions and I already answered some of these questions, but I realized that people were sending the same questions over and over again. So I figured that instead of sending the same answers to people, I might as well just make a video where I answer all your questions. So I have about 18 questions here and I'm just gonna read them from my phone. But I believe that with a good study plan and with hard work and this video, you guys will crush the plab exam. Okay, so just stick till the end because I'm going to share some helpful tips that will help you guys pass this exam. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right into the video. So first off, what is the plab exam? Yeah, the plab exam just basically stands for Professional and Linguistic Assessments Board exam, and this is a requirement for every international medical graduate who wants to practice medicine in the UK. There are two parts to the exam. There's part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is just basically a multiple choice based exam, and there are about 180 questions which you have to answer in 3 hours. Plab 2 is an OSCE which comprises of about 18 stations, and each station lasts for about 8 minutes and you have 2 resting stations. So that's basically what the exam is like. So the first question is, can I take plab 1 before my IELTS? I answered this question in my previous video, the one I mentioned earlier on. The answer is no, because you have to take an English proficiency test first. On the GMC website, you have to put your scores before you can even book a plab 1 date. So no, you can't write plab 1 before IELTS. Okay, there's no escaping it. Okay, next one. Can I use OET or IELTS for the plab exam? Yes, you can use either. You can use OET or IELTS. They're both accepted by the GMC. How long do I need to study for plab 1? Okay, so this is an interesting question because when I was preparing for my plab 1, there were lots of people on this Facebook plab page that said you only need 2 weeks to prepare for plab 1, you only need 2 days, you only need 10 days, it's a very easy exam. Guys, all I'm gonna say is take their words with a grain of salt. Okay, everyone is different. If you feel like you need to spend more time preparing, then take more time preparing. And if you feel like, okay, you know what, I got this exam, I can do this in 2 hours, then okay, do it in 2 hours. I took about 2 months to study for this exam, and I can tell you that on the exam day I felt unprepared. But then again, I've never really felt prepared for any exam in my life. So the thing I'm just gonna tell you is that take your time to prepare. You don't lose anything. Like, okay, fine, even if you take 3 months to prepare and you end up having more information that you need, it's better to have more information than for you to go to the exam hall feeling like you should have read more, you should have taken more time. So all I'm gonna say, and this is just in my opinion, is that you should take about 3 months to prepare for the plab 1. This is like 3 months. If you're working full-time, you might need to take a longer time, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's up to you. Do I need to attend an academy for plab 1? Guys, no, I don't think you have to attend an academy. I don't think you need to, because the thing with plab 1 is that there's so many materials, there's so many resources online that they're so helpful, honestly. I think with this exam you actually have more materials than you actually need, so you don't need to attend an academy. Okay, I know a few people who are attending academies, but most of my friends did not attend academies and we all passed like at the first attempt. So no, you don't need to. Save your money for plab 2. Plab 1 academy is actually cost more than the plab 1 exam, so just save your money for plab 2. With proper and adequate preparation, you will ace this exam, so you don't need to attend an academy. Next question is, I took the plab 1 exam and I failed again. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I know it's hard to believe people when they say I know how you feel, but I actually know how you feel. I've failed exams in the past. Even though I didn't fail the plab exam, I've failed exams in the past, so I know how daunting that can be. I know how you might feel defeated, and you said you failed again, so I'm guessing that was your second time. So yeah, I know it could be very hard, but all I'm gonna say is don't lose heart, don't give up. you can do this, you've actually got this, I believe in you, you have 2 more attempts and I believe that you can pass this exam. Okay, it's not impossible. There are people who have failed and passed, so you're not alone. Don't feel like you have to give up. And one quote that I believe in very strongly is that if you never stop trying, you can never fail. You can't fail because you're still working on it, you're still doing it, you're not done yet. So yeah, I'm just gonna give you some tips that I feel might be helpful for you. So if you have people around you telling you to just give up, telling you to maybe do something else and medicine is not for you, first of all, just ignore that. Just stay away from that, because that's toxic. If you want to become a doctor in the UK, then that's what you're going to become. You're going to become a doctor in the UK. And the reason why I'm saying all these things is because I know, like, there's a mental aspect to it also. There's that part of you that might just feel defeated and feel like it's not worth it. That's why I'm spending a lot of time talking about this. But first of all, figure out what you did wrong. Figure out, like, when your questions or your results are reported, they usually give you some feedback. So look at that feedback and just figure out what you did wrong. Look at the areas where you need to work on more. Do you need to work on your management or your data gathering, your assessment, you know, and spend time on these areas. So instead of, I don't know what you've done in the past, because the question wasn't really, was it to be vague. So did you do just 1-7? Did you just do plabable? Did you go through OHCM? Thing is, you don't have to go through OHCM cover to cover, but when you read some topics, you could go through OHCM to just get more information on that areas. So I would say you should definitely do that. You should go through plabable again. If you didn't, go through Samson Notes. Samson Notes is divided according to systems, so you could go through that and just use OHCM for referencing. In this case, because you've actually done this exam twice already, I actually would recommend an academy. I would recommend that you attend an academy. I know previously I said you don't have to attend an academy, but since you've done, I'm assuming that you've done your best in quotes, and you still failed, so maybe you should attend an academy. Because everybody that I know that attend an academy, I don't know a lot of people, but everyone that I know that attend an academy actually succeeded. So maybe you should look into that. If you feel like you have this test taking anxiety, maybe you should work on dealing with anxiety. So I feel like you just sit down and just figure out your weaknesses or what you feel like you did wrong and work on those areas, and definitely think about attending an academy. So the next question says, I need your advice on the best study materials to use if I only have a short period of time for plab 1. Now I feel like short period is subjective. What might feel like a short period for me might be different from what might feel like a short period for you. In my opinion, a short period for plab is anything less than a month. Okay, if you're trying to do plab in less than a month, that is a short period. Honestly, 6 weeks to, even 6 weeks feels like a short period, yeah. So but if you're talking about like 2 days or 1 week, I can't help you with that. Maybe you should send a message to some people on Facebook. But if you're talking about 2 months or 1 month, I would say first of all, go through 1-7. 1-7 is, I know like in the past they used to repeat like 1-7 questions word for word, but that's not the case now. But start with going through 1-7, start with going through plabable. Because you don't have time, you might not have the time to go through Samson Notes, so just stick with 1-7, plabable, mocks and recalls. So these recalls are actually very helpful. And for mocks, I would say in fact, for the mocks and recalls, just do whatever mocks you can get your hands on. Okay, look for Samson mocks. Those mocks are usually helpful, so if you can get your hands on a lot of mocks, make sure you go through them. And for the recalls, I would recommend doing like 3 to 4 exams before you. Like for instance, I wrote my plab 1 in September 2018. So what I did was that I went through June 2018 questions, I went through March 2018, I went through November 2017, and I went through September 2017. So whatever question banks you can get your hands on, like the ones related to plab, then I'd recommend that you get your hands on them, because the key is just going through as many questions as you can and understanding the my camera is getting too bright, and understanding the reasons why each answer is the answer. So if you have a question, don't just be like, don't just try to cram the question and cram the answer. Try to understand why A is the answer and it's not B, it's not C, it's not D, it's not E. Okay, so know why that answer is the answer and why the other answers are not. that should be helpful if you don't have enough time. One other very important tip if you don't have enough time for this plab 1 exam is to join a study group. Okay, group discussions are your friend. Plab 1 is your friend, but group discussions are your friend. They're your close friends. Okay, and the reason why I think, oh my god, there's a cat on the fence. Ugh. In my own case, I joined this group on Telegram and it was so good. I believe that these groups keep you accountable. Not only do you meet people who are writing the exam on the same day as you are, it also keeps you accountable. So on days we usually had these discussions in the evening. So on days when I did not even feel like studying, when I picked up my phone and saw that every other person was on Telegram having discussions, I wouldn't be able to do anything else. I won't be able to watch a movie. I won't be able to sleep. I would just have to join the discussion, because if I missed that discussion that night, I knew I was going to miss a lot, because the next day they're going to move on to another topic, which means I would have to look for extra time to go through that discussion that I'd missed. And I also had like a study plan that I followed during the day, so it just didn't make sense to miss any meeting. So I found that was very helpful. The next question is, did you find Plabable useful? And what other resources are useful? Guys, yes, Plabable is your friend. I already said that Plabable is your friend. Okay, this video is not sponsored by Plabable, by the way. Okay, I'm just sharing it with you because that's something that worked for me. Okay, it was good, it was helpful for me. And the reason why I really liked Plabable was because, again, everything was divided according to systems and the explanations are key. Like, those explanations are very, very good. Yeah, very good, such that even if you don't see those questions in your exam, there's some questions you would see in your exam that you would actually know just because of the explanations you've read from Plabable. Do you get what I mean? But I'm not saying that, like, if you just study Plabable, like, you're sure to pass. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if someone studies, if there's a person who goes through Plabable and 1.7 and there's another person who goes through just 1.7, this person has a higher chance of passing. Okay, and the other part of the question says, what other resources did you find useful? So I mentioned Plabable already, 1.7, OHCM is very good, but please do not read the OHCM cover to cover. We don't need that kind of energy here. Okay, I'm never going to tell you to read OHCM cover to cover. If you have, good for you, but you don't need to. Okay, you just need OHCM for references. So when you go through some questions and you just feel like they're not right, or even with the explanations you don't feel like you understand it properly, then maybe you could read that question in OHCM. Again, if you're going through mocks and you see some high yield areas, you see some questions that just keep on, or some, you know, some like pneumonia is a high yield area. I don't know if it still is, but in my time I got a lot of questions on pneumonia. I got a lot of questions in cardio, so these are like high yield areas in my opinion. So you could read the cardio section, you could read the respiratory section in OHCM. You could also go through the emergency medicine section in OHCM. So those are good things that you can go through, but you don't have to read every single section in the book. Okay, it's not necessary. SAMSIM notes are also very good. I started going through the notes, but because I didn't have enough time, I couldn't go through everything. But if you have time, definitely go through the SAMSIM notes. Mocks are very good, recalls are very good, group discussions are your friends. Then there's also this Facebook plab group. That group is also very good. You're also going to meet other people who are writing the exam. And if you have a question, you can always put that question on the group and there'll always be someone to answer those questions. Patient.info is another really good website that you can use for referencing. I think with all those things that I mentioned, you should be able to crush this thing. Okay. So the next question is, how long do I need to study for plab 2? Guys, this is what I mean. I get sort of these questions a lot. How long do I need to study for plab 1? How long do I need to study for plab 2? Guys, I don't know. It's up to you. It depends on you. Okay, but if you want an estimate and you just want to hear my opinion on this, okay, I would give you that. Okay, so the major thing you need to pass plab 2, or I don't want to say major, but like the materials that you need to study for plab 2 are usually given to you in the academy that you attend. My academy lasted for 15 days, and I think most of these academies last for 2 weeks, you know, like 15 days. So you need 15 days to attend the academy, and I would recommend leaving about 3 to 4 weeks between the last day of your academy and your exam. There are a lot of materials given to you in the academy, so I mean there are people who have passed this exam within 10 days of finishing the academy, but like I feel like you would feel more prepared if you had 3 to 4 weeks, because there are a lot of materials given to you. Guys, let me show you my books. This is what the first one, this is my second book, and this is my third book. Okay, these are like really big. In case you can't see them, I know you probably can see them. These books are very chunky in case you can't see. So you have a lot of materials given to you in your academy. For some academies, they give you, I think like they give you like handouts, but in my own academy you had to, everything had to be handwritten. So like everything is in this book. If you think you can study this whole thing in 2 days, then you're kidding yourself. You need time. That's what I'm saying. I recommend having like 3 weeks, you know, to prepare for the exam after your academy. Do I need to prepare for plab 2 before I join an academy? The answer is no. You don't even know what the format of the plab 2 exam is like. The only way you know is, one, by word of mouth. So if someone told you, or if you've attended an academy, so you don't even know what to read. You don't want to start picking up any random book to read, because those are not necessarily things you're going to see in your exam. The materials you need, the resources you need to pass plab 2 will be given to you by your academy. Trust me guys, you will be given these materials. You might even be given more than you actually need. I'm not saying that these academies are committed to helping you pass. I'm not saying that, oh, all you have to do is attend an academy and you've already passed plab 2, because whether you pass or fail is up to you. Like, it still depends on you. But I would say that you don't really need to prepare for plab 2 before you're attending an academy, because the academy is going to give you everything you need to pass, the materials you need to pass. Okay, so the entire question was, do I have to attend an academy? If yes, what plab 2 academy is the best? Okay, so I already answered the first part. For the best academy, guys, I know this is a question that everybody who's taking the plab 2 exam wants to know. What is the best academy? I want to go to the best academy. Guys, I wish I could tell you that there is a best academy. There is no such thing as a best academy. Guys, I think there are about 6 academies that I'm aware of, and I don't think any of them is the best. I can't speak for every academy out there, but for my own academy, the guy who in the academy was very nasty, very rude. It was very impolite. It was very inconsiderate of other people, not even just us, even his workers. Like, there was a time he raised his voice at one of his workers that the girl was literally shaking. Like, that's how terrible he is. He's an egotistical narcissist. Like, he's a I don't want to say he's a horrible person, but he is a horrible person. And I'm someone who doesn't even get angry easily. I'm not someone who takes offense easily, but this man pissed me off on so many levels. I couldn't even wait to just leave this academy. It was that bad. I'm someone who loves medicine. I'm someone who's passionate about medicine. I'm someone, if you ask me what is your dream job, I will tell you medicine. Okay, being a medical doctor. So basically, I'll tell you I'm living the dream. But it was in this academy, for the first time since I started this whole plab journey, that I felt so angry, so bitter, so sad that I was a doctor, and I actually regretted everything. That was how bad this man made me feel. Every time I'm on Facebook and I just see people leave, you know, their experiences and the bad experiences they had in this academy, and maybe like leave like horrible comments about this man, I give it a thumbs up, because look, this man is terrible. He mocks people, he mocks the way you look, he mocks the way you talk, the way you act, everything. He has no respect for you. Okay, having said that, is the academy good? Like, will they help you pass? Yes, they will. What I'm saying is that no academy out there is the best. If you go to an academy thinking, oh, this is the best place, you're going to be very disappointed, very, very disappointed. So, and don't also think that, you know, when they say, oh, this academy has a 99% pass rate, don't believe all that. I know people who have gone to every single academy and failed, and I also know people who have gone to every single academy and passed. Okay, so there's no such thing as the best academy. This academy will give you what you need to pass, but again, whether you pass or fail is up to you. Don't expect too much from academies. Don't think anyone is committed to making you pass. Okay, they only want you to pass because it's good for their pass rates, okay? And that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying don't expect too much. Just go there, get the materials you need, get the resources you need, and pass your exam. If I fail plab 2, do I have to write plab 1 again or just plab 2? I don't like this if I fail questions. You're not going to fail. Don't think of failure as an option. Success is your only option. However, if you fail plab 2, no, you don't have to write plab 1. You only have to write plab 2 because your plab 1 is valid for 2 years. Like if you pass your plab 1 exam, you have to write your plab 2 within 2 years of passing plab 1. So as long as your plab 1 is still valid, then you don't have to write plab 1 again. You only have to write plab 2. How long does it take for the results to be released? So for plab 1 it takes 6 weeks, and for plab 2 it takes 4 weeks. I hope that's still the way it is, because that's the way it was when I wrote mine. I want to practice in Scotland. Is there a center for plab 2 exam in Scotland? Guys, some of these answers you actually find them if you just check the website. If you know, there's no center for plab 2 in Scotland. They only have a center in Manchester, and occasionally they do write this exam in London, but like you mostly see the Manchester centers. Like you mostly see dates in the Manchester centers. I guess like the London dates get taken up very quickly, but yeah, they don't have any center in Scotland as of now. How many attempts do I have to pass this exams? You have 4 attempts to pass plab 1 and 4 attempts to pass plab 2. And yeah, the final one, what do plab 2 examiners look out for in the exam? Guys, you want me to lose my license, don't you? I'll share what I think they do look out for, at least from my own perspective as someone who has taken the exam, yeah, and passed. First of all, you're on the website. It shows that there are 3 main domains that you're marked on. Okay, you're marked for your data gathering. So basically the questions that you ask that will lead you to a diagnosis. You're marked on investigations. You're also marked on your management. But like one major thing you might have heard this before, is your IPS. IPS means interpersonal skill. It is very important, and this has a section on its own, okay, and it's 4 marks. IPS, just basically what I look at is like your rapport. You've been able to establish rapport with the patient. You've been kind. Your use of open-ended and close-ended question, empathy. If you following ethical guidelines, all these things are things that help you, that boost your score in that IPS domain. So the reason why people emphasize on being nice to the patient is because you can easily get 4 marks just by being kind. Domain 1 is scored over 4, domain 2 4, domain 3 over 4. So if you're nice to your patients, you could easily get 4 marks. That's why everyone is like IPS, IPS, IPS. But really, IPS is very good. You have to work on your interpersonal skills, okay? Smile, don't be rigid, and also know when to not smile, okay? So just and the use of active listening, your body language, all these things are very important when it comes to the plab 2 exam. So these are things that you have to work on. Again, a lot of these things are going to be taught to you in the academy, so you don't really have to bother about that now. If I could give you another tip, one thing that I feel is, oh my god, I have to share this with you guys, like no kidding, and I want you guys to pay attention. Yeah, one thing that I want you to remember when it comes to this plab 2 exam is that don't be tense. When you enter a station, treat that station like it's a normal day at the clinic. Like treat it like it's a normal day at work, okay? Well, in my exam, I had one station where I had to carry out a procedure and I couldn't do it. This is something that I do normally, but somehow in the exam I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. It just wasn't working out, and I had 8 minutes, guys. I was struggling with this thing for over 5 minutes, and I didn't stop until the examiner was like, you can stop. Like normally most examiners wouldn't even talk to you except they're supposed to talk to you, but this one actually told me stop. GK is like, stop it, stop trying, you're not getting it. He didn't say it that way, and I realized that I spent my whole time trying to take this sample that it just wasn't working out when I could have been getting other things. I didn't explain my management. I didn't explain what I could have done, and ultimately what I should have done when that didn't work out, when I was trying to carry out this procedure and it wasn't working out, I should have just said what I'd have done in real life. If that happened to me in real life and I was trying to take a blood sample from a patient and it wasn't working out, I'd probably be like, explain to the patient that I've tried taking a sample, but for some reason it's not working. I'm gonna speak with my seniors and ask them to please take the sample. Do you get? Which is what I should have done in the exam. I should have explained to the patient that I've tried my best and I'll speak with my seniors to do this. But no, I refused to give up. I was struggling with that thing, and I ended up getting 1 in the other stations, like in the other domains. So he only gave me 1 mark for history taking and 1 mark for management, or maybe I even got a 0 in management, honestly, because that station was really bad. I ended up wasting my time for something I couldn't do. So guys, the same way you would approach a station in real life, if you don't know something, just explain to the patient. Unfortunately, I don't have this information right now, but I will speak with my seniors, or I will get this information and I will relay the information back to you. Explain these things. If you don't know something, don't sit down there shaking and sweating and feeling like it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Just explain that you don't know, but you will get back to them. Okay, so that is one thing that I feel is very helpful. But overall, what the GMC wants is a safe doctor. They want to know that you understand your limits. They want to know that you're a knowledgeable doctor, not just knowledgeable, because they always say that they've tested your knowledge in plab 1 and in plab 2. They really just want to see if you're a safe doctor and how you can establish rapport with the patient and all those things. So those are things that they're looking out for. So in each station, you always have to remember that you're going to inform your seniors. You want to offer the patient leaflets. You don't want your patient to leave your consulting room with more questions that they had when they came in. Okay, you want them to know that you've addressed their concerns. These are things that are important. These are little things that will give you marks in the exams here and there. These are things that I believe the examiners look out for. Obviously there are other things that they look out for, but these are things that I feel like you should know. Okay, these are things that, like, if you forget anything, don't forget to offer your patient leaflets. Don't forget to say you will inform your seniors when you don't know something. Even when you know, so just say you will inform your seniors. What else? Always follow up with the patient. Always tell them, oh, okay, come back this. Always safety nets. Safety netting just means when you're done with the patient, just tell the patient, oh, but if you notice this, don't hesitate to come back to the hospital or call this number. So these are just simple things that will give you marks in the exam. Trust me, plab 2 is not a difficult exam, to be honest, as long as you know what to do, as long as you know what is expected of you, and these things will be taught to you in the academy. So don't even worry about it now. Just enjoy yourself now, okay? And when you book your dates, when you attend the academy, know that the work starts. So if you have any questions that I haven't already answered in this video, you can leave them in the comments below and I will answer them. And yeah, that's it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, so I can make more videos, and I will see you in my next video. I love you muchly. Bye.